Law Twitter comes running out of their glory hole stalls, running out to quickly defend the solid affidavits of everybody involved, and all of the evidence has definitely been authenticated. But the actual lawyers getting paid by the actual companies and people involved here, who actually have their licenses and the case on the line, come out and say, whoa, we're going to correct that statement because oops.
And indeed, there are a lot of oopsies happening on Twitter right now as members of the #KickVic movement are going out of their way once again to further contact conventions, studios, staff owners, in further trying to get Vic Mignogna banned from having to work any convention, any studio. And now today, we are going to be showing you guys exactly what's going on Twitter behind the scenes and publicly, as members of the KickVic movement are trying to do everything in their ability to not only further destroy Vic, but also his entire fan base at the same time. As once more, before we begin, if you are new to this channel and want to be kept up to date with all things involving Vic Mignogna, Monica Rial, Toye, and many of the news and updates involving the Vic Mignogna case, then be sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single upload. Be sure to go on ahead and slap a like down below by giving this video a big thumbs up if you guys do stand with Vic, as well as making sure to check out and subscribe to my main channel over at UnrealNetwork, to where there you guys will be able to find lots of anime and Dragon Ball content that you guys will not get to find on here. And follow me at Twitter at UnrealNetwork to stay connected with me at all times. And if you have anything you would like to share or tag me in involving Vic Mignogna or any of the parties involved in this case, then be sure to go on ahead and follow me at Twitter. Now, to kick things off, I want to introduce you guys to a tweet made by our nerd culture over on Twitter that went on to post something very interesting in regards to LJ Montello, as nerd culture went on to post, and I quote, "Attention to all those who support Vic Mignogna and stand by him during this troubling time. LJ Montello and Kick Vic are further preventing Vic from working any cons, and this includes the upcoming event on the 10th in New York. #IStandWithVic. Please share and retweet this ASAP. Disgusting." Now, this tweet originally comes from LJ Montello, as she went on to post, and I quote, "I called Open Jar Studios as a follow-up to the letter writing, etc. They are aware of their unexpected pest problem and are, by the workers' own words, working to deal with it. Vic's getting known on Broadway despite his limited talent and in the way he deserves." Basically inciting and further contacting conventions, studios, anyone involved in any sort of staffing for any convention or studio, and going as far as to not only defame, decharacterize, and demonize Vic to these convention owners and studios, but also reaching as far as they could to label this man the absolute worst, in going as far as to reach inside of the man's pocket and pull money from his wallet. That's how far these people are going, and it's blatantly being done openly in the public to where everybody can see. So not only is LJ Montello going as far as to lie about Vic Mignogna and not getting him hired by essentially anybody because she wants to see him burn, for essentially not having any empirical or irrefutable factual evidence to support the narrative that he is the monster that they paint him out to be, but also demonizing his fans, scrutinizing his fans. And the reason why a lot of people are standing with Vic in this case is because a lot of them can ultimately relate to having someone else point the finger at them and accusing them and blaming them for something they did not do, or at least having to take a very minute situation and blowing it up sky high and making it into a much bigger deal than what it originally was, and further trying to make someone else out to be the monster that they originally portrayed them as. So again, this is irrefutable factual evidence that this individual, this woman, has such a hatred for not only Vic, but for those who do stand with Vic in this case, whether male or female, and wants to further go as far as she could to ruin his career, to ruin his reputation, not just now, not just for anything in the coming years, but forever. And that is the absolute lowest that someone can go outside of directly attacking someone else's family. But it doesn't end there, because Dominique Sky also took it upon herself to go on Twitter and further going on to mock Vic and having to be fired. But not only that, but also going as far as to label all of his supporters and fans as enthusiasts, sympathizers, and misogynists, everything you can possibly think of, as she went on to post, and I quote, "Dom is an employed SLUT, Vic is a fired one. I think he's the only one that can really use a leash. Of course, having to reply to someone that went on to post, and I quote, "Well, Dom is an SLUT and you are following her, so this must be her DICK dog," which again is a really stupid tweet if you ask me, because now people are going as far as to reach, not only for insults, but to simply find something to say. But Dominique's responses are so condescending that it doesn't even end there, as she went on to post, and I quote, "You can view me however you like, and trust me, people do." As she continues, "I still view you as a PEDO sympathizer. Pretty sure that's worse." And I'm pretty sure that what you went along and did in subliminally labeling Vic as a PEDO is not only character defamation, but also public slander as well, especially when there's no convictions, especially when there's no police reports. And she further goes on to insist that there is no doubt that he is one, even though there are no police reports, no convictions, and nothing to prove that narrative. So what exactly is Dominique reaching for here? That is the question. But it doesn't end there, because she went along to quote tweet something very interesting from an individual named Aaron, as she went on to post, and I quote, "While I do like steering the pot on both sides, I certainly know that you don't care about this whole thing as much as you claim to do. In my opinion, you're just a cloud chaser milking a hot topic in your community for a little extra. Y'all talk like anime characters, justice and shit. No one really cares," which I will say, it's really stupid that this individual wants to play both sides, because there is no side to play here. You're either on one or you're on the other. And the fact that people have seen the irrefutable factual evidence to prove Vic's innocence can either have you stand on one side or the other. But this individual did in fact make a point in having to address Dominique and letting her know that she certainly doesn't care about the whole thing, and that she's simply chasing it for clout, which in fact she is, because not only has she gained voice actor notoriety and people having to follow her on Twitter and her Instagram, which I do encourage people not to do, because of course you're supporting someone that simply goes against an argument based on her own subjective bias, in labeling every single individual that goes against her stance as monsters, as misogynists. You guys have seen it before. So just because you question her on her stance, or if you decide to have your own opinion, right? God forbid you have your own opinion on something and choose to formulate your own stance in opposing her, she will immediately go as far as to drag your name through the mud in labeling you the absolute worst just because you're not standing by her side in this situation. Do you see how egregious that is? And to further illustrate my point in showing you guys how funny Dominique thinks that Vic being fired is, she went along to also post, and I quote, "This is all I understood from that. Have fun. P.S. Vic is now super fired. It's the best." So again, if it was Dominique having to be fired from something and people made fun of her, she would quickly be up in arms and crying out harassment. But it's okay for her to take it upon herself and going on Twitter and making public defamation comments like this? Character assassination at its finest, slander at its finest, and she proudly does it on a day-to-day basis, which is why a lot of people aren't going to stop fighting. And again, if you guys do want to further meet Vic Mignogna, he is going to be in New York on August 10th. Again, you guys can go on ahead and check his Twitter for more information. I want to get your thoughts and feedback in the comment section below, as I am going to leave you guys off with a few clips from Nick Rekieta himself. But again, I want to get your thoughts on this entire situation. I want to get your thoughts on what this is, what Dominique and LJ Montello and all of these people are doing. Would you consider that slander? Would you consider that defamation? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once more, follow me on Twitter at UnrealNetwork. If you guys have anything to tag me in, if there is anything you guys want to share with me, then be sure to go on ahead and follow me on Twitter at UnrealNetwork. Link will be located down below. Also, guys, don't forget to smash that subscribe button on the channel and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload. Also, take a second to check out my main channel over at UnrealNetwork, to where there we've been covering Dragon Ball and gaming and various other things. So again, you guys can find that link located down below. Tune back in for more. Check out the following clips from Nick Rekieta, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Take it easy, guys.
Assuming this this affidavit is still around, assuming Ty gets your whole affidavit stricken prior to TCPA, defeats TCPA, and then Funimation hasn't settled and fired you yet. And by the way, Scott, if you're looking for a new job, because guess what? You're gonna get fired for this. I'm just guessing. It's not you, buddy. It's not you. It's all y'all. That's the plural for y'all is all y'all at Funimation have your shaft on the chopping block, so to speak. There's going to be a trimming. That's what happens when major media companies or major companies buy up a smaller company. There tends to be some sort of culling already, but it's typically relegated to a select management staff that they find to be inefficient, or trimming the fat, so to speak, or redundant, like redundant communications departments. Might not need someone to monitor Funimation if they're already got a significant public relations department at Sony, but maybe you're still good. But here we go. Let me just let you in on this. When there's a guy who admits to composing a tweet that drags a company into a lawsuit with a bunch of negative press and a bunch of angry fans who have canceled subscriptions, and a bunch of people who are out there saying, we're not going to buy your product anymore because you guys are stupid. You're already on the chopping block for that. But now I got a question for you, Scotty. You said that you regularly prepare press releases. An Anime News Network cited sources within Funimation discussing the employment arrangements of Victor Mignogna prior to your announcement. Who communicates with Anime News Network at Funimation other than you, Scott? The mouthpiece of Funimation, the filthy, sullied mouthpiece, rife with Sony's gonorrhea, is Scott Barretto. Right there. Where Scott Barretto goes ahead and retroactively states that he pulled them on a specific day and refers to the original productions. Because even though he definitely 100%, because remember, Volney, Lemoyne, and Sam Johnson are the most competent attorneys in the room, and Ty's a bumbling idiot who doesn't know how to authenticate anything. They definitely correctly authenticated the documents, lol, except suddenly Volney felt the necessity to get updated affidavits which correct their authentication statements to make them actually valid because they actually weren't. How embarrassing is this? How embarrassing. Remember, the bumbling moron who doesn't know anything about court, trial, authentication, depositions, or anything said these aren't actually authenticated.